Hey crew, it's Mike with Riding in the Ozarks. And as you can tell from the thumbnail, we've got an upgrade to do on the Sport Glide today. We've got some handlebar speakers from LEXIN Moto we're going to install. Firecracker has to have her music. She's been using a Cardo unit with the helmet to listen to music and stuff. But with the comms, sometimes it cuts in and out if I'm trying to talk to her and things. And if she's riding by herself, she would just like to have speakers. It's what she had on her old bike. So we're going to check these things out and see how they are, and she'll do some riding with them, and then she'll come back and tell us what she thinks of them. But for right now, we're going to get them out of the bike, unbox them, get started on the install. Alright guys, we get an instruction manual. That's an antenna. These look like spacers for handlebars. This is the main unit. It's got controls on the top of it for power, changing songs, volume. This is supposed to have daytime running lights integrated into it. And you can tie them into your turn signals with these wires so that they will flash with your turns. I don't know if we'll hook those up. This ties in, it looks like a battery tender. And you could probably tie it to a battery tender, but it comes with the end that ties on to the battery that will be the receiving end of that same plug. This side is a slave speaker that connects to the main speaker. My biggest concern is going to be clearance, where these mount on her handlebars and her fairing. So we're going to see if we can put these on the Sport Glide and how they're going to clear. I think they will, but it's going to be kind of tight. Alright guys, I went ahead and did the right side, the side where the brake cylinder is first. That's where we're putting the slave speaker. We're putting the master speaker on the left side because the master speaker has controls for volume and skipping songs and stuff. So you want it where your left hand can get to it when you're not, operating the throttle and things like you are with your right hand. Anyway, it's really tight fit on the Sport Glide between the windshield and the master cylinder, but I was able to get it in there. I did have to loosen the master cylinder clamp up, get that hex bolt tightened up with an Allen wrench, and then I could tighten the clamp back up. And as you can see, I can still slide a piece of white cardboard paper between the bolt for the brake line and the clamp, but it's pretty close. Let's go get the left side on, the power side on. Alright guys, well we got it hooked up. We unbolted the front and back of the tank, and I was able to run the power cable down through that channel where it looks like some other electrical and maybe fuel lines run or something. So anyway, there was a little channel through there. I ran through there, zip tied it in the back, and tied it into a battery tender plug that was already tied to the battery. Otherwise, I was going to have to get to the battery on this bike, which is underneath the suspension, and it looked like a lot of work. So this thing is designed to be powered all the time off the battery, but it's pretty obvious when you leave it on because it's got running lights and the lights glow. As you can see on the back of the speakers, those are daytime running lights. If you forget and leave it on, it's your own fault because it's pretty obvious it's on. We already paired it with Firecracker's phone. Now whenever you turn it on, even with your phone in your pocket, it automatically connects to it. You can press the power button, it'll start playing music from your playlist or whatever you were playing last, and you don't have to get your phone out and mess with your phone and try and get music started on that before you take off or anything else. So she should be able to be going down the road and just be able to press that power button, turn it on, connect to her phone, and start playing music. There's two buttons on one on each side of the power button that can skip or back up a song to start it over, and those also work as volume. You long press those for volume up or volume down, and you short press them to skip tracks. We're gonna go do some riding with it this week, and we'll finish this video up after she gets to test it out and see what she thinks of it. But so far, she's pretty excited. After testing out the LEXIN Moto speakers, we discovered that at about 65, 70 mile an hour on the interstate, she was having some problems hearing some of the songs, especially songs that are not real loud like rock songs or something like that. Something that starts off softer and easier was hard to hear. Now, I suspect a lot of that had to do with the height of her windshield. The Sport Glide factory comes with like a 2-inch windshield. When she got this bike, it had a 5-inch windshield on there, but that's still not much because the handlebars and where the windshield is pretty low. She gets a lot of wind noise in her face. When I rode this bike, I realized it was basically like riding without a windshield. So we talked to LEXIN Moto, and they said they had a solution for bikes that were louder, that needed more volume. And that's basically, they have the ability to add a second set of these LEXIN LX-Q3 speakers to the first set, and they pair through Bluetooth, and then when you play a song, it plays through Bluetooth across all 4 speakers in sync. LEXIN said they would be happy to send us another set to test that out and see if that solved their problem. So while we were waiting to get that second set of LEXIN speakers in, we were able to go ahead and get a Clockworks windshield for the Sport Glide. Now, I've been running a Clockworks flared windshield on my Street Glide for over 5 years. I love that windshield. I've recommended it to many people. Everyone that I've recommended to that have tried it have liked it. The flare technology definitely works. I've had people who go from a taller windshield to a shorter windshield with the Clockworks flare, and they got the same amount of wind protection but gained visibility because of the flare technology and the way that forces the wind up and over you more. I could tell a difference on her bike after installing the Clockworks windshield. You know, we're gonna let her tell you what she thinks of it. She rode it a lot more miles than I did. When we got the second set of speakers in from LEXIN Moto, I was able to install all 4 on the handlebars, but because of the way the design is on the handlebar stock and the bat wing, I had to remove her bat wing, which is a simple, easy step to remove. So she tested out all 4 speakers in Bluetooth mode without the bat wing installed on the bike. So she had no wind protection at all. So let's let Firecracker tell you what she thinks about the LEXIN Q3s, especially after she got them set up with the windshield and with the 4-speaker setup.
Hey guys, this is Firecracker. I'm going to give you my review on the LEXIN speakers. To begin with, if you didn't know, originally I tried the speakers out with just 2 speakers. Really enjoyed them, especially riding around town, things like that. But when I got on the highway, the 2 speakers just drowned it out quite a bit. But I could still hear it on certain songs, but it wasn't the greatest. So LEXIN decided to send me 2 more speakers to add on to it. So while we were waiting for those speakers, Mike decided to go and buy me a taller Clockworks windshield. And I have to say the Clockworks windshield did help with that quite a bit. I could hear the music better on the highway, things like that. We finally got the second set of speakers in, and we put them on. Well, with my bars, we had to take my fairing off, so I had to ride with no windshield. Both sets with all 4 speakers on there, I could hear the music great. It was very loud. I felt that almost any song that came on, I could hear it on the highway, anywhere like that, but I don't like riding without my windshield. My next plan is to get taller bars. We will get that way I can put all 4 speakers on, because I'm going to want all 4 speakers since I have them. But I do have to say, if you have a taller windshield, the 2 speakers would be just fine. Otherwise, if you don't have that, you have the option of going with doing 4 speakers, which Bluetooth together. I want to say I really appreciate LEXIN for giving me some speakers to try out. I really enjoy them, and I would recommend them to anyone, whether you want to go with 4-speaker system or if you want to do the 2-speaker system, and just make sure you have a tall enough windshield that helps block out the wind noise.
Setup of the music sharing on the LEXIN speakers was really straightforward and simple. One try, everything paired just like the instructions said. You basically turn your phone Bluetooth off so it can't find your phone. You turn on the master set, the set you want to be the master, and then they go into a Bluetooth searching mode. You turn on the other set, it finds the first set, they pair up. After that, they automatically pair, even if your phone is connected.
Bluetooth mode. Bluetooth mode.
And we discovered that if you turn the main set off first, it'll actually signal the secondary set and it'll turn itself off. So you don't have to turn both sets off. You only have to turn both sets on when you get started. Now, I think the ideal setup for her is going to be all 4 speakers with the Clockworks windshield. But to do that, we're going to have to get her a new set of bars. And we've been looking at some options there. 5 Dirty Bikers, Dustin, has a set of KST Road Glide bars on his Sport Glide that he really likes. If we're getting some little taller bars like that with a little more pullback, we'll be able to mount the speakers on the handlebars and get them away from the windshield where they'll be right there in front of her. And I think that is going to really make this a premium setup for her to have music on a Softail. Do you guys have any recommendation for handlebars for a Road Glide that we can put on the Sport Glide? They've got to be a 1 1/4 inch clamp. So, you know, we're looking for like a 10-inch rise. If you got something that you think is great, leave us a comment down below and let us know what you recommend. Something else you need to know when you're running all 4 speakers is they only operate together in Bluetooth mode. If you're running a single set of speakers, you can run USB mode where you can put all your music on a USB file, plug that into a connector on the speaker, and play music directly from a USB. And there are ways to increase the volume when you're playing from USB. There are programs out there where you can adjust the gain on an MP3 file to bump that up, and that'll make that even louder through the speaker. That was one trick we tried, and that did help. But you know, the ideal system, I think, again, is still going to be 4 speakers with taller handlebars and the windshield. Now, personally, I think the operation of these LEXIN Moto speakers is a lot better than the system she had previously on the Dyna. On the Dyna, she had a hand controller up there, but it always felt like when we got ready to take off, she had trouble getting it to sync or play, to connect, things like that. With the LEXIN Moto, it seems to have really been a very smooth operation. If her phone's in the saddlebag, she can press the button. After she turns it on, it finds the phone. It starts playing from the Apple Music app, which is what she uses anyway. We have Apple Music. And then she can just take off and ride. It's maybe a little bit more than an integrated system like on my Street Glide, but it is not near as much trouble for her to get her music going and get down the road as it was with the old system she had on her Dyna before. Well, I hope you guys found this video informing and helpful, and if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you do that YouTube thing, check out the content on my channel, and if you dig it, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to ring the bell to be notified the next time I drop a new video, and as always, stay safe, keep on riding, and we'll see you in the next one.